as our What is the measure of a fulfilling existence? Wealth, talent, education, fame, power. All these have their place, but they alone do not capture life's essence. What truly defines our worth? Virtues. It is the virtues we imbibe that will write our legacy. Behold, Swami Narayan Akshardham, an inspirer of such virtues. Within its hallowed grounds, witness a celebration of virtues. A celebration of inspiration. Come, be a part of this monumental occasion. The Festival of Inspirations awaits.
Jai Swaminarayan, and a warm welcome to everyone to the Festival of Inspirations. Today, we embark on a vibrant journey through the history of Indian culture, a journey that promises to celebrate the richness, diversity, and enduring spirit of this culture. Our gathering today is not a mere event, but a tribute to the timeless traditions, values, and wisdom that have been woven into the fabric of Indian heritage. We'll explore the stories that have shaped us, the traditions that bind us, and the values that inspire us today, despite being thousands of miles from India. For centuries, a timeless aspect of our culture has been devotional music, or Kirtan Bhakti. Kirtans hold a great significance in our lives. They allow us to clear our minds from the clutter of a chaotic world, but more importantly, they allow us to connect to the divine. Let's now begin today's celebration with Stuti, Dhun, and Kirtan.
उत्पत्ति तथा स्थिति लय करे वेदो स्तुति उच्चरे जेनारोम सुछिद्र मायणु समा ब्रह्मांड को
સજ્યાદરાએ સાજ સ્વામિનારાયણની યશ ગાથા સુણો આજ. જય બોલો જય બોલો જય જય બોલો બોલો
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 જય ઘનશ્યામ જય નીલકંઠ જય ઘનશ્યામ જય નીલકંઠ જય બોલો સજાનંદની સકલ વ્યોમમાં ગુંજે આજે યશ ગાથા મહારાજની જય સ્વામી નારાયણની જય સ્વામી સજાનંદની.
શુભ સંવત એ 1837 ના વર્ષે
37 ના વર્ષે
ચૈત્ર માસની સુદ નવમીએ દેવો નાચે હર્ષે
દેવો નાચે હર્ષે.
જય સરવાર જય સરયુની જય સરવાર જય સરયુનીર જય બોલો છપૈયા ધામની
સકલ વ્યોમમાં ગુંજે આજે યશ ગાથા મહારાજની જય સ્વામી નારાયણની જય સ્વામી સજાનંદની. મુક્ત અને મુજ ધામ ગુણાતીત જુઓ રાહ દક્ષિમ દેશે
જુએ રાહ પશ્ચિમ દેશે
એ સંકલ્પે ગૃહ ત્યજીને નિસર્યા વર્ણી વેશે
નિસર્યા વર્ણી વેશે
એ ધર્મ દશાશી જટાધારી એ ધર્મ દજાશી જટાધારી જય બોલો વર્ણી રાજની સકલ વ્યોમમાં ગુંજે આજે યશ ગાથા મહારાજની જય સ્વામી નારાયણની જય સ્વામી સજાનંદની.
સકલ તીર્થને પાવન કરતા 7 વર્ષ વનમાં વિચરી
7 વર્ષ વનમાં વિચરી
રામાનંદના મઠમાં વસ્યા નવીન આભા ત્યાં પ્રસરી
નવીન આભા ત્યાં પ્રસરી.
ધન્ય લોજ ધામ ધન્ય ગુજરાત ધન્ય લોજ ધામ ધન્ય ગુજરાત જય બોલો સરજુદાસની
સકલ વ્યોમમાં ગુંજે આજે યશ ગાથા મહારાજની જય સ્વામી નારાયણની જય સ્વામી સજાનંદની. પીપલાણામાં દીક્ષા આપી સ્વામી રામાનંદે જેતપુરે એ ધર્મત કુંવરને ધુરા સોંપી આનંદે. જય સજાનંદ જય નારાયણ મુનિ જય સજાનંદ જય નારાયણ મુનિ જય બોલો સ્વામી નારાયણની સકલ વ્યોમમાં ગુંજે આજે યશ ગાથા મહારાજની જય સ્વામી નારાયણની જય સ્વામી સજાનંદની. कदिए ना पावे।
निज गुरु समीपे बेवर माग्या, निज गुरु समीपे बेवर माग्या, जय हो करुणा धामनी।
सकल व्योम मां गूंजे आजे यश गाथा महाराजनी जय। स्वामी नारायण जी जय, स्वामी सदानंदनी। रची मंदिरों गगन चूमता, मूर्तिमान की दी भक्ति,
मूर्तिमान की दी भक्ति।
कथा कीर्तन पूजा आरती मानित्य जगमगती।
मानित्य जगमगती।
जय वड़ताल जय अहमदाबाद, जय वड़ताल जय अहमदाबाद, जय बोलो गढ़ा धामनी।
सकल व्योम मां गूंजे आजे यश गाथा महाराजनी जय। स्वामी
नारायणनी जय, स्वामी सदानंदनी।
अक्षर ब्रह्मना दिव्य संबंधे, ब्रह्म भावने पामी। पर ब्रह्मना चरण कमळनी, उपासना सौए करवी। सकल ज्ञान नो सारया, सकल ज्ञान नो सारया, जय अक्षर पुरुषोत्तमनी।
सकल व्योम मां गूंजे आजे यश गाथा महाराजनी जय। स्वामी नारायणनी जय, स्वामी सदानंदनी। गुणातीतानंद धाम अमारू, अखंड रहो हुए मां,
अखंड रहो हुए मां।
एनी सेवा मारी ज सेवा, फेर न जानो ते मां,
फेर न जानो ते मां।
ब्रह्म भावने पामवा, ब्रह्म भावने पामवा, जय बोलो गुणातीतानंदनी।
सकल व्योम मां गूंजे आजे यश गाथा महाराजनी जय। स्वामी नारायणनी जय, स्वामी सदानंदनी। सहजानंदी धर्म रथया, गाम गाम जुओ विचरे,
गाम गाम जो विचरे।
खंड धराना खूणे खूणे, विजय पताका लहरे,
विजय पताका लहरे।
आजे आनंदे बोलो, आजे आनंदे बोलो, जय स्वामी नारायणनी।
आजे आनंदे बोलो जय महंत स्वामी महाराजनी।
सकल व्योम मां गूंजे आजे यश गाथा महाराजनी जय। स्वामी नारायणनी जय, प्रमुख स्वामी महाराजनी जय, महंत स्वामी महाराजनी जय। बोलो अक्षरधामनी जय, बोलो अक्षरधामनी जय, बोलो अक्षरधामनी जय, बोलो अक्षरधामनी।
Far from the shores of India, the flame of its rich, ancient culture burns brightly. Standing tall through the test of time, this is the story of a community that has preserved its roots, its Sanskriti. Sanskriti, or the essence of culture, embodies our traditions, values, and way of life. It is passed down generation to generation, connecting us to our roots no matter where we are in the world. The heart of Akshardham resonates with the very embodiment of Indian culture and heritage. Dedicated to Bhagwan Swaminarayan, this mandir serves as a beacon to his enduring legacy. Centuries ago, Bhagwan Swaminarayan inspired a cultural renaissance, breathing new life into our connection with this beautiful heritage. He promoted education, traditional art and architecture, languages, and festivals. He inspired the building of mandirs and the creation of scriptures to revive spiritual values, ancient philosophies, and faith, a true torchbearer of Indian culture. Today, Indian Americans dispersed across the United States are embracing their cultural heritage while assimilating seamlessly into the vibrant tapestry of America. Through mandirs and local communities, they have found a means to nurture those noble values and traditions in their homes. Families share meals, share values, share experiences that connect them across generations. For it is this very bond that unifies us, a bond cherished in moments of joy and relied upon for support during times of hardship. The moral values of Indian culture, rooted in empathy, honesty, perseverance, and humility, continues to be the guiding light and foundation for professional success and prosperity for Indian Americans. In the very essence of this culture lies the mantra, Seva Paramo Dharma. Service to humanity is the highest duty. Acts of charity, seva, and caring for others are ingrained values, fostering compassion and a sense of responsibility. Ignited by the core values of Indian culture, the radiance of this vibrant community's cultural flame burns brightly, paying homage to their history, embracing the present, and shaping a future firmly anchored in faith, harmony, and collective prosperity.
As we've been celebrating the Festival of Inspirations, we have been host to a number of distinguished guests. This evening, I'd like you to join me in welcoming Illinois State Senator Seth Lewis, who represents Illinois' 24th District. I'd like to request Pujya Kothari Swami right now to welcome him with a garland of flowers and a memento. Senator Lewis has served in the House of Representatives and was a trustee for the Bartlett Fire Protection District. Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwanani Jai. His background in engineering, experience as a business executive, and commitment to community engagement makes him a valuable advocate for the people of Illinois, where we have the BAPS Shri Swaminarayan Mandir in Bartlett itself. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'd like to request you to please address the Assembly and share your thoughts with us.
Namaste, Kamcho, good evening. Jai Swaminarayan. My name is Seth Lewis. I'm a state senator from Illinois, and what an honor it is to be here with all of you today. My home mandir is in Bartlett, where my family and I attend, and we've been attending since 2008 to the Bartlett BAPS mandir, and have known the culture, loved the culture. My wife is from New Delhi, and we've been married for 26 years. Akshardham here is a absolutely gorgeous place. It's inspiring, and I know all of you have been inspired by it. The intricate details, the thousands of years of Hinduism that are permanently engraved in the stone. It is awesome. to be standing here in front of you. As a state senator here in Illinois, in my home state, I've had the fortunate opportunity to be blessed by Mahant Swami directly when he visited BAPS Bartlett. I have guided and supported and implemented the resolution for Pramukh Swami celebrating his 100th year anniversary of life. That is now an Illinois resolution as supported by the entire state of Illinois for Pramukh Swami. I have sponsored Hindu Awareness Month for the month of October. Every session, every year that I've been an elected official, Illinois officially recognizes now the month of October as Hindu Awareness Month. And in an educational system, I have pushed and voted for including Indian Asian Americans and their contributions to American history and the contributions of India to our world history, and that is now being taught in all of our high school classes in Illinois. Being a part of the Asian Indian American community is something that I find and I take very seriously, very important. Hinduism and Indian Americans contribute to our society and to America every day in ways that many do not understand. You are business owners, you are family members, you are community members, you are volunteers, and appreciating and recognizing the value of Hindus and Asian Indian Americans here in Illinois is something that I will continue to do in my elected capacity. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy this beautiful place. God bless, and Jai Swami Naran.
Bhagwan Swaminarayan's social and cultural endeavors have been meticulously documented by both Indian and British historians. They were not only observers, but were deeply impressed by how Bhagwan Swaminarayan and his Paramhansas worked hard to revitalize spirituality, positively impact lives, and foster a sense of selfless service. Together, they embodied the ethos of loving all, not despite, but because of differences. To delve further into how Bhagwan Swaminarayan illuminated the path of Indian culture, let's invite Pujya Anand Swarup Swami to the stage.
Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan Jai. Akshar Purushottam Maharajani Jai. Gunatitanand Swami Maharajani Jai. Bhagatji Maharajani Jai. Shastriji Maharajani Jai. Yogiji Maharajani Jai. Pramukh Swami Maharajani Jai. Mahant Swami Maharajani Jai. Akshardham Mahotsavni Jai. ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિમાં શ્રીજી મહારાજનું યોગદાન, આમ ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિનો આપણે વિચાર કરીએ તો એ તો બહુ મોટો વિષય છે. એટલે પહેલાં તો સંસ્કૃતિની વ્યાખ્યા, જેને ઇંગ્લિશની અંદર આપણે કલ્ચર કહેવામાં આવે છે, તો કલ્ચરના અર્થની અંદર તો આ દેશની અંદર જે કાંઈ થાય છે, કોઈ પણ દેશમાં એ કલ્ચરનો ભાગ છે એવું વર્ણન છે, એવું વર્ણન કરવામાં આવે છે. પણ અલગ અલગ બધા મતાંતરો એના છે. એક તો જીવનશૈલી, લાઈફસ્ટાઈલ, પછી કયા વેલ્યુઝ છે, કયા મૂલ્યો છે, એ અંદર વાત આવે. એના બધા ટ્રેડિશન્સ કેવા છે, તો ટ્રેડિશન્સ પણ આવે. જો આપણે ભારત દેશનો વિચાર કરીએ તો ભારત દેશની અંદર તો જે વખતે ભગવાન સ્વામિનારાયણ આ પૃથ્વી ઉપર પ્રગટ થયા તે વખતે આપણા દેશની અંદર ઘણા બધા રજવાડાઓ હતા. ભારત દેશમાં 550 કરતાં વધારે રજવાડાઓ હતા. એમાં ગુજરાતની અંદર જ લગભગ 300 રજવાડાઓ હતા. અને એવું આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં કહેવાય છે કે 12 ગાવે બોલી બદલાય. 12 ગાવ, એક ગાવ એટલે 2 માઇલ, 12 ગાવ એટલે 24 માઇલ, લગભગ 40 કિલોમીટર આપણે કહીએ. બોલી બદલાઈ જાય, રીતિ નીતિ છે અમુક બદલાઈ જાય, પણ શ્રીજી મહારાજ આ લોકની અંદર પ્રગટ થયા તો માણસો છે, માણસોને લીધે સંસ્કૃતિ બને છે. તો માણસોનો આપણે જો વિચાર કરીએ તો એના 3 મુખ્ય વિભાગ છે: શરીર છે, મન છે અને આત્મા છે. તો શરીરે કરીને માણસ સુખી થાય એના માટે શ્રીજી મહારાજે ઘણી બધી વાતો આપી. મન છે એકદમ સ્વસ્થ રહે એના માટે પણ શ્રીજી મહારાજે ઘણી બધી વાતો આપી. અને આત્મા એની આત્યંતિકી મુક્તિ થાય, આત્યંતિક કલ્યાણ થાય એવી અદ્ભુત વાતો એ શ્રીજી મહારાજ છે, શ્રીજી મહારાજે આપેલી છે. હમણાં આપણે યશગાથા, તો યશગાથા આપણે સાંભળી ભગવાન સ્વામિનારાયણની. ભગવાન સ્વામિનારાયણ પ્રગટ થયા અને ભગવાન સ્વામિનારાયણ પોતે આ લોકની અંદર વચન આપીને ગયા કે હું મારા ગુણાતીત સંત દ્વારા પૃથ્વી ઉપર હંમેશા પ્રગટ રહીશ. ત્યાં સુધીમાં શ્રીજી મહારાજનું જીવન, કાર્ય, સંદેશ આ યશગાથાની અંદર સંક્ષેપમાં બહુ સુંદર રીતે એ વર્ણન કરવામાં આવેલું છે, આવરી લેવામાં આવેલું છે. સુધારાનો આપણે વિચાર કરીએ, કંઈક નવું કોન્ટ્રીબ્યુશન, નવી એક વાત આપી, ટ્રેડિશનની અંદર ઇમ્પ્રુવમેન્ટ કરી હોય, લાઈફસ્ટાઈલમાં ઇમ્પ્રુવમેન્ટ કરી હોય, અને આધ્યાત્મિક પથ ઉપર, નૈતિક પથ ઉપર જે ઘણા બધા સુધારાઓ શ્રીજી મહારાજે આપ્યા એ બધા તો વર્ણન જીવનચરિત્ર છે, 5 ભાગ છે, તો એની અંદર બધું આપેલું છે. પણ ટૂંકમાં આપણે જોવા માટે જઈએ તો જીવનશૈલીનો વિચાર કરે તો શ્રીજી મહારાજે પ્રથમ તો એ વાત કરી કે સવારના પોરમાં ઊભા થઈને સ્નાન કરવું. પહેલાં તો ભગવાનનું સ્મરણ કરવું, સ્મરણ કરીને પછી સ્નાન કરવું. હવે સ્નાન કરવાનો જે રિવાજ, રોજ નાહવું, તો ઘણી વખત ભણેલા ગણેલા માણસો હોય, પાણીની વ્યવસ્થા હોય, પણ પશ્ચિમના ઘણા બધા દેશોની અંદર નાહવું જોઈએ એ પણ માણસના મનની અંદર, કેટલાક માણસના મનની અંદર નથી. ત્યારે જે લોકોની પાસે વ્યવસ્થા પણ નથી એ લોકો પાસે શ્રીજી મહારાજે આ વાત આપી. એટલે એક કહેવત પડી ગઈ કે શીત ભળીએ સ્વામિનારાયણમાં નિત્ય ઉઠીને નાવું, ભળીએની ભફાકિયામાં નાયા વિના ખાવું. આ એક આખી જે કહેવત છે એ કહેવત પડી ગઈ. સવારે ઉઠી સ્નાન કરવું, પછી પોતાની અંગત પૂજા. આજે આપણે જોવા જઈએ સમગ્ર સ્વામિનારાયણ સંપ્રદાયની અંદર બધા સંતો અને બધા હરિભક્તો જેમ પરમ પૂજ્ય મહંત સ્વામી મહારાજ રોજ પૂજા કરે છે, તો એવી રીતે આ સંતો હરિભક્તો એ પોતાની પૂજા, અંગત પૂજા કરે. એ કર્યું હોય પછી ભગવાનને થાળ ધરાવે, એટલે ભગવાનને થાળ ધરાવીને પ્રસાદ રૂપે એ થાળ પોતે અંગીકાર કરે. એ પહેલાં ઘરની અંદર વ્યવસ્થા હોય તો પોતે આરતી કરે, અને પછી પોતે જ નોકરી કરતા હોય, તે વખતે નોકરી નહીં પણ ખેતી હતી અને કંઈક ધંધો હતો, તો ખેતી અને ધંધો કરવા માટે આ બધા હરિભક્તો છે એ હરિભક્તો પોતે જતા, પોતે શ્રમ કરતા, અને શ્રમ કરીને સાંજે આવે મંદિરની અંદર આવે, મંદિરમાં આરતી થાય, ત્યાં આગળ અષ્ટક બોલાય, ત્યાં આગળ કથા વાર્તા થાય, અને કથા વાર્તા થાય પછી પ્રેમાનંદ સ્વામી ચેષ્ટા આપી, તો એ ચેષ્ટા બોલાય, અને ચેષ્ટા બોલાયા પછી એ પોતે આરામ કરવા માટે જાય, શુદ્ધ પવિત્ર જીવન જીવે. એમના જીવનની અંદર ભગવાન સ્વામિનારાયણે પંચવર્તમાન આપ્યા. દારૂ ન પીવો, માંસાહાર ન કરો, ચોરી ન કરવી, વ્યભિચાર ન કરો, આહાર વિહાર શુદ્ધ રાખવા. આ બહુ જ મોટી એક ક્રાંતિ હતી. આ સામાન્ય વાત નથી. શ્રીજી મહારાજના યોગની અંદર આવ્યા, આહાર વિહારની શુદ્ધિ, તો એ ઘણા બધા લોકો વ્યસનથી ભરડાયેલા હતા, અને સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનના યોગમાં આવ્યા. એ બધાથી સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાને એમને મુક્તિ અપાવડાવી. સંતો તે વખતે ભારત વર્ષની અંદર ઘણા બધા સંતો હતા, સારા હતા, પણ નીલકંઠ વર્ણી જ્યારે લોજની અંદર પધાર્યા, અને તે વખતે નીલકંઠ વર્ણીએ સૌ પ્રથમ તો ત્યાં આગળ બહુ મોટા જે સુધારા કર્યા, તો એ સુધારાની અંદર ગોખલો હતો. એ નીલકંઠ વર્ણીએ કીધું કે આ ધર્મની અંદર છિદ્ર છે, આ દિવાલમાં છિદ્ર નથી, માટે જે ત્યાગી હોય, અને ત્યાગી આવી રીતે જો સ્ત્રીઓના સંપર્કમાં આવે તો એમના જીવનની અંદર ધર્મ રહે નહીં, માટે તમે આ ગોખલો પુરાવો. આ આધ્યાત્મિક જગતમાં, નૈતિક ધાર્મિક જગતની અંદર એક બહુ જ મોટું પગલું. શાસ્ત્રમાં અષ્ટાંગ બ્રહ્મચર્યની વાત કરી હતી, પણ આચરણની અંદર નાની ઉંમર 19 વર્ષની નીલકંઠ વર્ણીની ઉંમર, અને તે વખતે એક કોકના આશ્રમમાં જઈ અને આ સુધારાની વાત કરે, તો કેટલી બધી નૈતિક તાકાત અને કેટલી બધી આધ્યાત્મિક ઉર્જા કે જેણે કરીને આ વાત બની શકે, બાકી બની ના શકે. અને ભાઈની જે સભા છે, એ સભા પણ એ સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાને અલગ કરાવડાવી. તો એ લોકોના સુખ માટે, ભાઈઓના સુખ માટે, બાઈઓના સુખ માટે, આધ્યાત્મિક પ્રાપ્તિ ભાઈ એમાં સમાન. પણ આ લોકની અંદર આ બધી વાતો છે. અક્ષરધામની અંદર તો બધા મુક્તો છે, જ્યાં કોઈ ભેદભાવ નથી. પણ આ વાત મહારાજે આપી, અને શ્રીજી મહારાજ બોલ્યા કે ગમે તેવો ધર્મવાન પુરુષ હોય અને ગમે તેવી ધર્મવાન સ્ત્રી હોય, પણ જો ઝાઝા સમય સુધી ભેગા રહે તો એનો ધર્મ પડે નહીં. આ બહુ મોટી વાત હતી. આ પાયાની વાત, ધર્મના મૂળની અંદર જે વાત હતી, એ શ્રીજી મહારાજે આ પોતે વાત આપી. હવે ઘણા બધા ટ્રેડિશન્સનો આપણે વિચાર કરીએ તો એ ટ્રેડિશન્સ પ્રણાલિકાઓની અંદર પણ કેવી પ્રણાલિકાઓ હતી. દાખલા તરીકે દૂધ પીતી કરવાનો રિવાજ હતો. દૂધ પીતી એટલા માટે કરે કે સ્ત્રી હોય, મોટા થઈને એના માટે યોગ્ય વર ન મળે, અને પોતા પાસે એવી વ્યવસ્થા ન હોય, એની જવાબદારી હોય, અને જવાબદારીને લીધે એના કરતાં તો એ જે બાળકી છે નાનપણમાં જ એને દૂધના ગળાની અંદર ડૂબાડી અને મારી નાખતા. શ્રીજી મહારાજે કીધું આ બાળ હત્યાનું પાપ છે, અને આ બહુ મોટું પાપ છે, માટે આ બંધ કરાવો. હવે એમના યોગની અંદર આવ્યા શ્રીજી મહારાજે બધા પાસે આ રિવાજ બંધ કરાવ્યો. આ બહુ મોટું કોન્ટ્રીબ્યુશન છે. ઐતિહાસિક દૃષ્ટિએ આપણે જુઓ તો આજે ધાર્મિક જગતની અંદર આ બહુ મોટું પગલું શ્રીજી મહારાજે ભર્યું. સતી પ્રથાની વાત કરી તો સતી પ્રથાની વાતની અંદર પણ શ્રીજી મહારાજ તો ગુજરાતમાં હતા, તો કેટલાક વર્ગની અંદર આ પ્રથા ચાલુ હતી. જો ધણી મરી જાય તો એની પાછળ પરાણે એમના પત્ની છે ને બાળી નાખતા, જીવતા ને જીવતા. હવે આવું મોટું પાપ હતું, એ પણ શ્રીજી મહારાજે પોતાના પ્રભાવથી અને પોતાની તાકાતથી શ્રીજી મહારાજે આ બંધ છે બંધ કરાવી નાખ્યું. આ બહુ મોટું પગલું હતું. રાજા રામ મોહન રોય એમણે બંગાળની અંદર કર્યું, પણ પરદેશના માણસોએ આ એનું બેવની કમ્પેરિઝન આપી છે. કમ્પેરિઝનમાં વર્ણન કર્યું કે શ્રીજી મહારાજ ઉપર કોઈ વેસ્ટર્ન પાવરની અસર નથી, કોઈ શાસકોની અસર નથી. ત્યારે રાજારામ મોહન રાય ઉપર એની અસર હતી અને એનો ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ ઇઝ વેઇનિંગ ડે બાય ડે. એનો જે ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ ઓછો થાય અને સહજાનંદ ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ, સ્વામિનારાયણ ઇન્ફ્લુઅન્સ ઇઝ વેક્સિંગ ડે બાય ડે. એ વધતો જાય છે. એનું આખું જે વર્ણન કરેલું છે, તો એની અંદર પણ બહુ મોટો ફરક છે. ઉત્સવો ભારતનું એક હોલમાર્ક છે. એ હોલમાર્કની અંદર હોળીનો મોટો ઉત્સવ, દરેક રાજ્ય પ્રદેશની અંદર મોટા મોટા ઉત્સવો છે. તો હોળીના ઉત્સવની અંદર પણ એ વખતે જે ગાળો, ગલીચ અને જે વખતે એ લોકો ગારો, છાણ, ધૂળ આ બધાથી વ્યવહાર કરતા હતા, ઉત્સવનો મર્મ સમજાવ્યો, ઉત્સવનો ધ્યેય સમજાવ્યો અને ધ્યેય સમજાવીને એની અંદર શું શું કરવું જોઈએ એમાં શુદ્ધિ આણી. તો શ્રીજી મહારાજે હોળીનો ઉત્સવ કેવી રીતે કરવો, ફૂલદોલનો ઉત્સવ, એ ધૂળેટનો ઉત્સવ કોને કહેવાય, એ શા માટે કરવો જોઈએ એ સમજાવ્યું. એની અંદરથી આ બધી વાતો પણ મહારાજે બંધ કરાવી. લગ્નની અંદર ફટાણા ગવાતા એટલે ગાળાગાળી જ થાય, અને લગ્નનું હોય એટલે ગાળાગાળીમાં લોકોને વાંધો આવે નહીં, કારણ કે આનંદમાં માલતા હોય. શ્રીજી મહારાજે કીધું આ બરોબર નથી. મુક્તાનંદ સ્વામી એ પોતે બ્રહ્મચર્યનું પાલન કરવા માટે ગુરુની શોધની અંદર હતા. અને છેવટે શ્રીજી મહારાજ મળે છે અને નક્કી હતું કે આ પાળવાથી જ ભગવાનના ધામની પ્રાપ્તિ થાય. એવા મુક્તાનંદ સ્વામી પાસે શ્રીજી મહારાજે રૂક્ષ્મણી વિવાહના ભજનો, કીર્તનો બનાવડાવ્યા કે જેને કરીને લગ્નની અંદર એ બધા ગીતો ગવાય. બીજા બધા જે લ્યુડ સોંગ્સ હોય, એવા બધી જે ગીતો હોય એ ગવાય નહીં. તો એ શ્રીજી મહારાજે એ બહુ જ મોટી વાત કરી. આધ્યાત્મિક જગતનો જો આપણે વિચાર કરીએ તો આધ્યાત્મિક જગતની અંદર પણ એક બહુ જ મોટી વાત પોતે લઈને જ આવેલા હતા. અને એ મહારાજે વાત કરી કેવી આત્મા બ્રાહ્મણ નથી, આત્મા ક્ષત્રિય નથી, આત્મા કણબી નથી, આત્મા કોઈનો દીકરો નથી, આત્મા કોઈનો બાપ નથી, આત્માને કોઈ નાત નથી, આત્માને કોઈ જાત નથી. એ શ્રીજી મહારાજે આ એક જ્ઞાન આપ્યું. એ વર્ણાશ્રમની જે વાત છે, તો ક્લાસ સિસ્ટમ તો મિડિવલ યુરોપની અંદર પણ હતું. મિડિવલ યુરોપમાં તમે જો તો એક તો રોયલ્ટી એટલે રાજાઓ, પછી ક્લર્જી જે લોકો પાદરીઓ હોય એ, પછી નોબલ્સ એટલે એના યોગની અંદર જે કોઈ આવેલા હોય રાજા સાથે સંપર્કમાં, તો રોયલ સર્વિસની અંદર હોય. પછી બર્ગર્સ એક સ્પેશિયલ પ્રિવિલેજ ક્લાસ હતો, અને એ ક્લાસમાંથી ટાઉનના ઓફિશિયલની પસંદગી, ઇલેક્શન થાય એવો હતો. અને સર્ફ જે લોકોની જમીનો હતી, જમીનોમાં કામ કરે મજૂર તરીકે, તો ત્યાં પણ ક્લાસ સિસ્ટમ હતી. પર્શિયાની અંદર પણ, ઈરાનમાં તમે જુઓ તો ત્યાં આગળ અથર્વ એટલે જે પ્રિસ્ટ હોય એ અથર્વ કહેવાય. રથેસ્ટર તો એ પછી એ ત્યાં આગળ ક્ષત્રિય વોરિયર કાસ્ટ. પછી વસ્ત્ર કે જે લોકો એ પોતે ધંધો કરતા હોય, એ કામ કરતા હોય, અને આર્ટિઝન્સ આ શૂટી કરીને એ 4 વર્ગ તો એ લોકોની અંદર પણ હતા. પણ એ જે ક્લાસ પ્રોફેશન પ્રમાણે, એમ આપણે ત્યાં પણ એવું હતું. તો શ્રીજી મહારાજે આ મૂળભૂત આમૂળ પરિવર્તન કર્યું. અને મહારાજે વાત કરી પછી આત્માનું જ્ઞાન આપીને કહ્યું કે આત્મા એના કરતાં અક્ષર બ્રહ્મ એ અનંત ગુણા મોટા છે. એને પોતાનું સ્વરૂપ માનવાનું. અને એ અક્ષર બ્રહ્મ કોણ છે એ શ્રીજી મહારાજે કહ્યું કે ગુણાતીતાનંદ સ્વામી છે. અને એમના પરંપરાની અંદર આપણે પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજ મળ્યા, અને આપણને મોહન સ્વામી મહારાજ મળ્યા. સામે અક્ષર અને પુરુષોત્તમ સ્વામી અને નારાયણ, એની આપણે પ્રાપ્તિ થઈ. એટલે આધ્યાત્મિક જગતની અંદર શાસ્ત્રની અંદર બીજ રૂપે જે વાતો કરી હતી એ શ્રીજી મહારાજે મૂર્તિમાન કરીને આપણને આપી. અને આજે તમે જોવાનું ભવ્ય, અતિ ભવ્ય રોબિન્સનની અંદર અક્ષરધામ તૈયાર થયું. તો એના મધ્ય મંદિરની અંદર ગુણાતીતાનંદ સ્વામી અને શ્રીજી મહારાજની મૂર્તિ, અને આપણે ગુરુ પરંપરાને બધું મુક્તો મંડળ પધરાવેલું છે, અને સૈદ્ધાંતિક કામ કર્યું છે. એટલે આધ્યાત્મિક જગતની અંદર પણ ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિનું આ એક અદ્વિતીય અલૌકિક પ્રદાન એ શ્રીજી મહારાજનું હતું. શરીરને કેવી રીતે લાભ થાય, મનને કેવી રીતે લાભ થાય અને આત્માને આત્યંતિક લાભ કેવી રીતે થાય, એ બધી જ વાતો આપણને શ્રીજી મહારાજે કરી. એની એ વાતો આજે આપણે મોહન સ્વામી મહારાજ કરી રહ્યા છે. તો ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિમાં શ્રીજી મહારાજનું બહુ મોટું યોગદાન એ આપણે સમજી શકીએ ને આપણું જીવન ધન્ય બનાવીએ. પ્રાર્થના શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનની જય.
We've spoken about culture's indispensable role in defining values and identities. In this way, an upbringing and nourishment of culture is a kind of backbone for individuals. We've spoken about Bhagwan Swaminarayan's efforts to restore and preserve this culture for future generations. We discovered that a life whose foundation is built on cultural values of mutual respect, genuine effort, and a love for all is synonymous with a life of constant progress. That a cultural background provides a lived framework for how to go about one's life. So, how does culture influence our growth? What does this growth look like at the individual, family, and societal levels? Let's now invite Pujya Yoganand Swami to shed more light on this matter.
Shri Swaminarayan Bhagavanani Jai. In central Gujarat, in the feudal times, there used to be a place called the Kingdom of Baroda. And the king of Baroda, annually, he would hold an assembly where he would invite different academics and philosophers from around the world to present on a variety of different topics. One year, he invited a German philosopher to speak on the topic of character. That day, almost 2 centuries ago, when the master of ceremonies introduced the speaker to the audience, he did something unique. After introducing the speaker to the audience, he took an opportunity and he said, "Today I want to introduce this audience to the speaker." At that time, he said a story from the Ramayana. The Ramayana is one of Hindu Sanatan Dharma's oldest scriptures. In the story, the MC explained that at one time, while Ramchandra Bhagwan was in the forest, his wife was abducted by the demon Ravan. So that her husband will be able to know what direction she was being taken in, she took off her jewels and she threw them to the ground. People in the forest, they gathered her jewels and they brought them to her husband, Ramchandra Bhagwan. At that time, Ramchandra Bhagwan had his brother, Lakshman ji, also with him. Ramchandra Bhagwan showed the jewels to his younger brother and he asked, "Do you recognize any of these jewels as belonging to my wife, your sister-in-law?" At that time, Lakshman ji said that I only recognize the anklets. Ramchandra Bhagwan had a doubt. He said, "You don't recognize the wristlets or the necklace, only the anklets? Why is that?" And Lakshman ji replied that despite living with sister-in-law for decades, I have never looked above her ankles. Daily, when I would go to touch her feet, I would see her anklets, but never have I looked above her feet. I have never even seen her face once, despite being together with her for decades. The MC explained at that time that this is the type of character that Lakshman ji had. This was his austere character. This was his level of piety, that he never had an ill thought towards a woman that he was with, despite being with her for decades. Then the MC said to the speaker, "This is the audience that is before you. The audience before you grows up hearing this story. These are our roots. These are the stories that keep us grounded. And now you can begin your speech." The speaker's topic was on character. He got to the podium and he said at that time that I'm supposed to speak to all of you on character, but what you have in your culture is more than anything I can provide you. I have nothing more to say. Today I want to tell you that everyone in front of you, the thousands of people here, grow up based on these stories. This is our history. This is our legacy. And these are our ideals. With this approach, every Indian here builds an inward-out lifestyle. The former president of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, once told our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj that every person needs to work inward out. And at that time, he directed 3 levels. He said, Punya Vyakti, Punya Parivar, and Punya Nagrik. Meaning first, a person should be good individually. Then on that foundation, that good individual should build a strong family. And then with that strong family as his foundation, every person should contribute to a better society. The first level that Dr. Abdul Kalam explained for every Indian is to be a good person individually. Every person here is blessed that we get our direct guidance from Guru Mahant Swami Maharaj on how to become good people. On November 8th, 1999, Mahant Swami Maharaj wrote a letter to a devotee. It was also the Hindu New Year that day. And on that very auspicious occasion, he wrote out 26 rules based on the alphabet of how a person should live. He used every letter in the alphabet. He wrote out rules like avoid apathy, be bold, and consider courtesy, all the way to Z, zoom zestfully. And after every rule, he wrote 2 or 3 lines. If we look at just a few simple rules, perhaps 3 of the hardest letters, Q, R, and S. He said, quit quitting. Avoid tomorrowitis. It is now or never. R, resist rudeness. Be not rude upon one who is rude upon you. And S, seek success. Normally, people seek failure. What if I can't do it? Well, then you definitely won't be able to do it. Instead, believe you can do it. Mahant Swami Maharaj's guidance to every devotee is exemplified in this Akshardham monument. Over 12,500 volunteers knew that there is no tomorrow. Let us seize the opportunity today. And they worked hard. And despite many critiques against them, they never responded rudely to anyone. They continued their work and they persevered. This is a very difficult task. Many of you have seen the monument. When you see it, it's hard to believe that a human mind can even comprehend it. So how can human hands ever build it? But everyone knew that with hard work and perseverance, coupled with the Guru and God's blessings, everything is possible. And they persevered. And it's been done. This Maha Mandir is proof that with hard work and prayers, everyone can have success. The people who volunteered here, none of them were construction professionals. Many of them were small business owners. Many of them were blue-collar workers. Some of them had professional jobs. But now let's fast forward 50 years into the future. In 50 years, there's going to be a retired software engineer coming onto this campus with his granddaughter in his hand. And he's going to point to the spire. And he's going to tell his granddaughter that I built this. The main spire on the largest Hindu temple in the world, I built with my bare hands 50 years ago. The amount of confidence that every volunteer has imbibed through this hard work. That's what Mahant Swami Maharaj did. Akshardham is a landmark in itself, but in building one landmark, he sculpted 12,000 other landmarks. Walking, talking, breathing Akshardhams, moving all across this country. And now all of these volunteers go back into society. They'll go back to their universities, they'll go back to their jobs. And what they learned here, they're going to take back with them. Everyone here has now fully experienced, not just in theory, but experienced hard work and perseverance, coupled with the Guru and God's blessings. These are the parents for success everywhere. And with that, they'll go forth to build their families. When we talk about building a good family, again, I want to refer to that first scripture I mentioned, the Ramayana. The Ramayana is the basis upon which every Hindu builds their family. To give you some idea of what the story is, the king of Ayodhya decided that the next morning he was going to place his oldest son as the king. His oldest son was named Ramchandra Bhagwan. However, one of the other queens, that night she decided that she didn't want Ramchandra Bhagwan to become king. Instead, she wanted her son to become the king. She went to her husband and she said, I want 2 things from you. One, instead of making the oldest son king, as is our tradition, instead I want you to make my son the king. And then the second thing I want is so that my son can rule fearlessly. And without any fear of being usurped, I want you to send the oldest son, Ramchandra Bhagwan, into the forest. send him into exile for 14 years. It's a very complex and dramatic situation. If this was happening in modern times, the very next phone call would be to the lawyers or to the media to push a certain narrative or to make certain cases. At that time, there should have been murders or a family war. The fate of the entire kingdom is at stake. But look at how everyone in that family behaved. The king is so confident that he can tell his son this. He goes to him and he tells Ramchandra Bhagwan that I had promised you the kingdom last night, but now this morning you have to go to the forest. He's not worried about bloodshed at all. None of the other queens take revenge upon the queen who had her will pushed through. Ramchandra Bhagwan goes to the forest and another younger brother is going to be made king, but he refuses to sit on the throne. Instead, he takes it as a responsibility and he chooses that I'll live as a regent or an interim king until my older brother comes back. Ramchandra Bhagwan's wife, Sita ji, she decides that she's going to go to the forest with her husband. She had no reason to. She wasn't commanded. She decided on her own. Ramchandra Bhagwan's younger brother, Lakshman ji, he also decides that he'll go to the forest to serve his brother and sister-in-law, to help. He had no reason to, but he decided on his own. Lakshman ji's wife, Urmila ji, she lost her husband for absolutely no reason at all. But she said, you should go. And I will stay back at home and take care of all the seniors in the family, because certain people are now going to be busy running the kingdom and certain people my age will be busy in the forest. So I will take care of all the seniors at home. No one got angry. No one was at competition with each other. Everyone found a way through it positively. Centuries ago, there was a Sanskrit writer, a literary by the name of Bhavabhuti. And he wrote a drama based on the story of the Ramayana. At the end of the drama, he writes, Eko rasa karuna eva nimitta bhedat. He makes a point that all of life is a tragedy. The way water presents itself in different forms, a liquid, a gas, or a solid, all of life is filled with one form of a problem or another, whether it's at home, at work, or in your own physical body regarding your health. There are going to be countless tragedies, countless problems. But then he explains, to go through all of those problems and yet remain calm and contented. To go through all of those problems and yet remain positive. To go through all of those problems and stay united, that is the meaning of the Ramayana. Every Hindu here, even the youngest child in this tent, can tell you the entire story of the Ramayana. Because this is what we're fed on from our young age. We're taught this story and we're taught to base every one of our decisions based on these stories. Indians in America, despite living here for decades, we still respect our parents, we bow to them daily. We respect our elders, we bow to them daily. Every Indian American, they strive to eat together, to play together, to pray together. And that is why everyone, all the time, works to stay together. Even if one person in the family has a difficulty, another person will take physical hardships upon themselves to help someone else. They'll make that sacrifice. Punya Parivar. This is the family structure of the Indian American. And then based on this, they come into the community with this thought that we are stronger together than we are separate. Every Indian does their best to provide service to everyone that they come into contact with. Our God, Bhagwan Swaminarayan, explains that every devotee should not seek liberation or seek heaven. Liberation and heaven are to be attained here on earth. And in defining liberation, in defining heaven, Bhagwan Swaminarayan writes, Seva muktischa gamyatam. Service to others is liberation. That is our definition of what we pray for, what we want. In one of our ancient Hindu scriptures, the Srimad Bhagavad, there's the story of King Rantidev. King Rantidev was the king, and God decided to test him. He lost his kingdom, he lost everything he had. He didn't even have food to eat. After 48 days of continuous fasting, he finally got a small bit of food. But at that time, another beggar came, and the beggar asked for the food. Rantidev gave him the food. Happily, God appeared. God was pleased with his service. And then God offered him his kingdom back and offered him the kingdom of heaven afterwards. To which Rantidev responded, Na tvaham kamaye rajyam, na swargam, na punar bhavam, kamaye dukha tapta nam, prani nam artha nashanam. I don't want a kingdom. I don't want liberation. I don't even want heaven. God, if you are truly pleased upon me, then only give me one thing. I want the opportunity to help other people in need. When the Guru asks any devotee sitting here what they want, rarely do you get a devotee who asks for anything for this world. All they ask for is seva, selfless service, the opportunity to serve into their community. They have made this their life. We see this through all of their actions, embodied in their actions. A few years ago, when FEMA requested the BAPS organization to provide volunteers to spread COVID-19 awareness, over 70 youths flew to Las Vegas of their own accord from all across America. They spent weeks there serving. They spread information. And through their efforts, they were able to provide over 190,000 units of PPE, 90,000 hot meals, and collect over $200,000 in donations to provide to other charitable causes. About 2 weeks ago, here on the Akshardham campus, in front of the large statue of Nilkamarni Maharaj, we honored over 100 veterans and active duty military officials. Many of those military officials and many of those veterans are BAPS devotees. One of those devotees was Sergeant Mehta. Sergeant Mehta is also a naturopathic doctor, and she runs her own clinic. She's been serving in the military and in the reserve for years, and she's the mother of 3. When she was given the opportunity to speak, she said that Akshardham is a symbol of the profound impact we can have on the world when we work towards a common purpose. Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life motto was, "In the joy of others lies our own." And this timeless wisdom reminds us that our happiness is intertwined with the well-being of those around us. Thus, it calls upon us to extend our hands in service and compassion. Let us all carry this spirit forward. And this is what it comes down to. Pramukh Swami Maharaj has ingrained in every person's heart this one message, that in the joy of others lies our own. Every person here, when we improve our individual lives, we do so for the benefit of others. When we improve our family lives, we do so for the benefit of others. And when we work to improve our community, we do so only for the benefit of others. So at the end today, I'd like to pray to Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Guru Hari Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and Pragat Guru Hari Mahan Swami Maharaj, that based on their guidance, we can live our lives, become good individuals, have strong families, and with those strong families, contribute tirelessly to build a better society. Swaminarayan Bhagwan Ani Jai.
Thank you, Yoganand Swami, for those inspiring words. As we continue on with the program, I'd now like to request Senator Antani to come up. Senator Antani made history as Ohio's first Indian American state senator. He has been recognized in Forbes 30 Under 30 as one of the most influential young Republicans in the nation for his contributions to areas such as veteran support and higher education. Senator Antani, we are pleased to have you here today, and I'd like to invite you to come up and share a few words to mark this occasion.
Well, thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here. My name is Neeraj Antani. I serve as a state senator in the Ohio Senate at the State House in Columbus, Ohio, and I am very proud to be the first Indian American and Hindu American state senator in Ohio history. But I am even more proud to be the first Gujarati Hindu elected official in the history of the United States. It's an honor for me to be here to congratulate Mahant Swami Maharaj, all of the Swamis, and to all of BAPS on the opening of Akshardham here in Robbinsville, New Jersey. I had the honor of coming over the summer and doing just 1 hour of seva, but my seva. And as I toured Akshardham, one feeling came across me, and it was a note of permanence. That to me, someone who was born here, who grew up here, who had immigrant parents and an immigrant family, that we have now arrived and we cannot be removed. That Akshardham will stand for centuries here in the United States of America. Now, that was not always a guarantee. My parents, my father was born in Bhuj in Kutch in Gujarat, and my mother in Jamnagar. And we are told the story that when my first kaka came in the 1960s, my father went to the train station in Kutch and said to him, "Hurry to become a citizen so you can sponsor me so that I too may come to America and to pursue the American dream." And that happened, and my parents came here. And when they came here, as many of you know, those who are pioneers and the immigrant generation know, our ability to worship was not guaranteed. My mother would take me on Sundays to Sabha for our local Swaminarayan, and it was at a Lions Hall club. They would rent every Sunday the Lions Club. And so to see the transition from that Lions Club hall in the 1990s to now Akshardham is a testament to this community. Now, if I may, I will admit something to you. When I was a small child, one of my masis lived in Patel Colony in Jamnagar. And in Patel Colony in Jamnagar, in the center, is a very small Hanuman Mandir with a very small Hanuman Murti. And so ever since I was a child, I've always been a follower of Hanuman and have loved Hanuman. And we know the famous story for Hanuman, which is during the Battle of Lanka, as Lakshman was struck, he was sent to the medicine mountain to find the Sanjivani, the herb that was magical to heal Lakshman as he was dying. And Hanuman, not knowing exactly which herb was Sanjivani, picked up the whole mountain and brought it to Lanka to save Lakshman's life. And we know Sanjivani is that herb. And as I think about what Akshardham is, what BAPS stands for, what Pramukh Swami Maharaj, what Mahant Swami Maharaj stand for, to me, the message of Swaminarayan Bhagwan, the message of BAPS is that Sanjivani for society. And as you walk up to Akshardham, I can't help but think that the tons of concrete, the mountains of concrete, that the mountains of marble that were brought from all over the world is that medicine mountain. That the Swaminarayan Mandir, you all undertook that very Hanuman-like journey to bring that medicine mountain here, and that Sanjivani will now stand for centuries. And so it's an honor for me to be able to be your voice in the Ohio State House to work on behalf of not just my district, but our community. But it's an honor for me to be here to congratulate you and to say that I look forward to partnering with you. And my wish for you is that Swaminarayan Mandir and Akshardham in particular brings that Sanjivani to society for many centuries to come, right here in Robbinsville, New Jersey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Antani, for those kind words. We're also joined today by Rob Woodall. Mr. Woodall is an accomplished attorney, and prior to his time in Congress, where he currently serves for Georgia's 7th Congressional District, he served as the Chief of Staff to former Congressman John Linder. His dedication to public service and commitment to his community have left a lasting impact. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Woodall to share his thoughts and sentiments with us as well today.
Jai Swami Narayan. I don't have the same cultural background that the senator has, and as he was giving his speech, I was wishing very much so, but I was feeling the same pride that all of you felt, because if you're a politician, and some people use that word negatively, I use that word pridefully, because while, can I see the hands of the folks who were able to perform seva here, just so I can know who touched some of the things that I saw today? I'm not trying to get you to be prideful, I just am interested to see. I come from Atlanta, Georgia, where our mandir is servicing tens of thousands of people who perform seva in our community every single day. Every day. As a politician in Congress, you might have thought I came here to talk about love and understanding because that's what you see in Congress most days. Not true. That's not what I came to talk about. I do want you to know that there are men and women there who yearn to serve others selflessly every bit as much as each man and woman in this audience. But nobody gets to see those people. The reason I flew up from Atlanta this morning to celebrate this opening with you today is because BAPS does such an amazing job of not keeping your service a secret. You can go anywhere in Atlanta, Georgia, and folks know who the servant leaders are. Folks know who want to put their neighbors first. Folks know who's willing to dip into their pocket to help another family in need. I don't know, thinking about the Swami's lesson here earlier, how much more time it's going to take to teach those values to every child in every family in America. I know that we work on it in my family. In fact, I've got my mother here with me tonight. She's turning 77 tomorrow. I said, Mom, would you come up with me today? I don't know how long it's going to take to share those values with every family in America, but I know this. It's going to be a whole lot faster because of BAPS. I'm not here tonight because I'm thoughtful enough or knowledgeable enough to know about this event and know about all the years of effort and planning. I'm here tonight because the BAPS community in my community comes and seeks people out to help them to serve. Folks come and seek you out to say, here's something you might want to be a part of. Here's something you might learn from. Here's something that might make you a better human being. I need more friends like that in my life. And I count my BAPS friends among the very best of them. Congratulations to all of you for your effort and your success here. I'm told it's only going to be 1,000 years that it's planned for, Senator, but like you, I expect it to be here long beyond that. Congratulations, and thank you very much.
Let's thank our recognized guests one more time for attending the assembly here today. When we work on bettering ourselves, our families, and our communities, we prioritize values that'll translate into other aspects of our lives. The values we learn from Mandir and at home propel us forward professionally and in our personal lives. In doing so, the values themselves become a cherished heirloom that we pass from generation to generation. From boardrooms to dining tables, values play a critical role in defining our identity. But we wear many hats: spouse, child, mother, father, sibling, friend, manager. It's easy to wonder what role our values will play in our lives then. It's hard to find out how we can possibly live with poise. Let's invite two esteemed speakers to share their stories and enlighten us on this question.
I'm Chirag Patel. I'm an emergency physician, turned healthcare entrepreneur, and now I direct strategic initiatives at a national healthcare company called Carbon Health. But I'm also a volunteer at BAPS, and I'm a proud father to a 19-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter.
Hello and Jai Swaminarayan. My name is Mohak Shroff. I am the Senior Vice President and Head of Engineering at LinkedIn, and I'm also a member of the Board of Directors at eBay. I'm also the father of two wonderful little girls, 8 and 10, and I'm someone who believes very strongly in the power of my Indian and Hindu identity. Starting when I was very young, my parents are both parts of two very large extended families. My father is one of 9 children, and my mom was one of 11. Growing up in a very small apartment, 1-bedroom apartment in Mumbai, my parents lived with a number of their siblings, as many as 8 to 10. And they put them through school. They helped them succeed in life. They made this investment in them. And what I saw from them was a sense of joy, a sense of fulfillment that came from investing in the progress of their family. Years later, I learned about Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life words, these extraordinary words that he carried, the idea that in the joy of others lies our own. In the progress of others resides our own. I saw my parents live these values. I saw Pramukh Swami Maharaj every single second of his life expressing that value. And what I realized is that the secret to success and happiness in life was doing precisely that. As I interact with my family, I try to bring the aspect of investing in their joy. In the professional world now, as a leader, there's this trendy idea, the idea of servant leadership. The idea that when you're a leader, it isn't that the people who report to you work for you, but quite the opposite. That the real path to success is investing in the success of the people who report to you, working as a servant to the cause, a servant to your team. And that has been one of the critical aspects of my success. When I examine kind of what the secret ingredient of becoming a truly successful person is, a successful person, a successful entrepreneur, a successful professional, and frankly, a successful citizen. Isn't the core ideal of citizenship the idea of investing in the joy of others, in the progress of others? And this for me has become something very foundational to me and something that I learned from my family.
It's interesting that you called out your family as a secret of your success. And truly, family values are foundational to our culture, Indian culture. And looking at my life, I too can call on family as a secret for my success. My extended family. When I was a child, when I was a baby, actually, my first birthday was on a plane from Canada to India. My parents wanted me to grow up Indian. And therefore, they decided to take me to India when I was a year old, to grow up with my uncles and aunts. And these uncles and aunts gave me time, affection, and love only parents can give. And a way to show this affection and spend time was through stories. And invariably, these stories revolved around Ramayan and Mahabharata. I would hear stories that informed me of how I should think, how I should act, what my values should be. From Ram Bhagwan's life, from the Ramayana, I learned a sense of duty, dharma. Listening to stories of Arjun from the Mahabharata, I learned the value of hard work. With hard work, anything is possible. Later on, as I grew, the community shared stories of our gurus, Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Mahant Swami Maharaj, and their stories encapsulated the stories from the Mahabharata and the Ramayana. When it came time to grinding through college to get into medical school, grinding through medical school to get into a good residency, grinding through residency to get a good career option, a good placement, and then eventually as an entrepreneur, hard work came easy. It was just me, and that is due to the values my family gave me.
I love the point about hard work. I'm an immigrant. I was born in India. I grew up in the Middle East. I moved to the great state of Texas to get my undergraduate degree in computer science from the University of Texas at Austin. Hook 'em horns. That's right, that's all the Texas people. And then I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area to get a job in technology. Now, to your point, the path to success is never easy. It takes a lot of hard work. But for me, it also took something else that I got from our culture. the idea of purpose, a driving force, when you're someone who doesn't quite fit in because of your background, because of your values. I walk around with a big red dot on my forehead, and everyone wonders, like, hey, there's that guy, how is he different from us? And it takes a sense of purpose to conquer that. And as we sit here, I want to mirror the purpose with the experience that we all have in the shadow of this incredible mandir, this incredible Maha Mandir of Akshardham. Akshardham stands as a testament to the devotion, the love of thousands of volunteers. And similarly for me, when I think about my career trajectory, when I think about my success, for me personally, it stands as a representation of my love for Bhagwan. I see success not as something that conflicts with my values. I tie it to my sense of purpose, my duty. The idea that success is a form of bhakti, of devotion to God, to Bhagwan. It is a form of service. And that aspect of really thinking about every hard time, every difficult decision as an aspect of service and devotion to God has been what's driven me to the place I am today.
You know, driving through your career is easy when you have a playbook, a way to make decisions easy. My professional growth is due to my sense of duty. And in childhood, I remember the story of Bhishma's oath, that unflinching, unwavering purpose in life to a commitment. Pramukh Swami Maharaj similarly had stated an oath in form of a prarthana, a prayer to his guru when he became the president of BAPS. And he committed to that goal till his last breath, caring for his devotees, his followers. So we as clinicians, as physicians, take this oath, the Hippocratic Oath. And that oath was tested in 2020. It was April of 2020. We all know this time. The world stood still because of COVID-19. There was one thought in America, COVID-19. There was this fear. The providers, the clinicians, the healthcare community knew two things. One is that we need to stop this by testing. Test people who don't even have symptoms so they may not spread it to other people. Second thing we knew is that we needed to test outside the confines of a hospital or a clinic because we didn't want to spread the disease. The third thing was something that we did not know. Will we get paid for the service we provide? And this was a big question. And then I reflected back onto what Pramukh Swami Maharaj would do. He committed to serving his followers. We committed as healthcare workers to serve the communities that we lived in. And the decision became very simple. We do this. So we convinced the 50 clinicians in our practice to test these patients. And in 2 months, we tested 18,000 people. We served 18,000 people. And no, we did not go bankrupt. Pramukh Swami Maharaj made my decision easy. Our values made my decision easy.
You know, Chirag, these decisions that you and I make, this path we've been on, powered by our culture, powered by our values, it's been special for both of us. I know it has for me. I know it is when I listen and talk to you. But what's really special for me is that these values, this culture, they don't stand still in time. They're as applicable today as they were when we were growing up, as they were thousands of years ago. And for me, I see this with my daughters every single day. My 10-year-old daughter, Suhani, is supposed to be going on something called Outdoor Ed this week on Tuesday. What she's going to do is she's going to be gone for several days away from home, essentially camping out in the wild with her friends, no parents, no access to technology, no ability to talk to us. Now, that makes us extraordinarily anxious, obviously, as parents. But obviously makes children anxious as well. There's going to be a bunch of kids that are away from their parents for the first time. Now, what it also does is the kids are really excited. They're talking about all the cool foods they're going to eat, all the cool activities that they will do. But Suhani has one very specific concern that is truly unique. She's worried about how she will bathe and shower in the morning so that she can do her daily prayers, her daily puja. This is a 10-year-old child who, unprompted, is so focused on this base of value, on this base of culture, that she's thinking about how she will be able to do her puja every day. Our 8-year-old daughter, Ananya, we just had a parent-teacher conference. And the teacher says to us, hey, you know, whenever we have an event in our classroom, people bring food in. And Ananya always walks up to me and asks, is there anything in this that I can't eat? Because I've got these dietary restrictions. I'm vegetarian. These are girls of 10 and 8. And these cultural values, these cultural principles that you and I experienced, they still experience today. They still cling to them. They still grow with them. There's this famous experiment that gets talked about. It's called the Stanford Marshmallow Experiment. Young children, preschoolers, were presented with an option. There's a marshmallow in front of you. It's a really yummy thing. You can eat it now, or you can wait 5 minutes and you can get 2. Many kids just ate it now. That's what kids do. Some kids waited those 5 to 10 minutes and they got 2. They did a study of these children. The children who waited for those 5 or 10 minutes, showing a modicum of willpower, over the course of the next 30, 40 years, showed a lifetime earning potential of over $1 million more than those who didn't. When we talk about these values, it's actually possible to quantify the extraordinary impact that they have in our lives and the lives of our children. And it's not like these are things that are coming from books. It's not like these are things that are being told to these kids. It's become a sense of identity for my children. These values that have propelled us to success, but I'm certain will propel them as well.
Mohak, you talk about identity, and looking at your journey, you're an immigrant, but you've been amazingly successful in America. You are the American dream. You are a true American. But when I look at your children, they're undeniably Indian and Hindu. So similarly, I had a question. My parents sent me to India when I was a year old so that I may grow up Indian. Did I do something wrong in not sending my son and daughter to India so that they grow Indian? And this question bugged me, but then a few weeks ago, the answer became apparent. I was driving home from school with my daughter, Ashka, and randomly I asked her that, what values do you think your mom and I have given you? And there was a silence. She was thinking. After some thought, she said, I can't name a single one. And that was very, very disheartening to me. It felt like a failure. And then she went on to say, there's not one I can't name because everything, whoever I am, my values, all my values are because of you and Mom. That answer became apparent.
And thus enters the very embodiment of Indian cultural values.
I came to realize that as parents, we have this awesome responsibility, this amazing opportunity to share with our children what we are and who we are.
What's really interesting, Chirag, is your parents sent you to India to become Indian. I didn't grow up in India, but I grew up kind of a stone's throw from it in the Middle East. Our children are gaining these values here in the United States. And what's really special about these values is how well they integrate. these children, they're American, but they're also Indian, and they're unequivocally Hindu. And it's so special, the gift that we all now have with something like Swaminarayan Akshardham. We have the opportunity to experience firsthand the power, the magic of Indian cultural values in personified form. And so I want to invite everybody to please make the journey here and experience these values that have been such a fantastic accelerant to both of us. Our lives lived against these values have been the core drivers of our success. They will be the drivers of success for our children, and we have conviction they will be the drivers of success for every person who embraces them. Jai Swaminarayan.
Thank you, Mohak and Chirag, for sharing those words of wisdom about leadership. Leadership that we need in our families, in our businesses, in our communities. We're happy to have leaders in their own right joining us today. I'd like to request Harsha Agadi to come up and speak a few words with us. Mr. Harsha Agadi is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Crawford & Company, the world's largest independent claims management company. We're also pleased that his wife, Mrs. Geeta Agadi, is here as well. Mr. Agadi brings a wealth of experience and expertise in the field of claim service, risk management, insurance, and we're honored to have you here today. Please come on up and share a few words on this occasion.
Namaskar, Parma Puja Mahant Swami Maharaj. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very momentous occasion. I originally come from Mumbai, India. I migrated here 40 years ago. I have to thank our family friend Ritesh Desai in Atlanta to insist we come here and pay respects to the largest temple in the world. My full name is Harshavardhan, the last Hindu emperor of India. That is what my parents named me. Harshvardhan means the giver of happiness. Our very existence in life, ladies and gentlemen, is to do seva to others. I have had the opportunity to run 7 large American companies in 3 different cities in multiple sectors. But that is not as interesting as my wife and I run an engineering college in the middle of rural India where engineering is taught for $1,000 a year. As human beings, we may live 20,000 days, 30,000 days, maybe more, maybe less. Let us make it a mission in life that we at least impact directly, ladies and gentlemen, at least 30,000 lives in each of our lifetimes. 30,000 lives is a minimum goal. And what BAPS teaches us is seva to others. Having come here today with my wife, who challenges me to do seva constantly, having come here and spent the time here, I am so moved that my wife and I would like to dedicate 100 engineering seats to BAPS devotees, relatives in India, of free tuition, no fees for 4 years. Giving education is the ultimate donation because you can never take it away from a human being. It is the most important thing in life is education. Through that we learn. When you look at all the carvings, when you look at all the stories, to appreciate it, we need an education. The other thing I will very, very honestly ask you to do is each one of us needs to impact the young children. We owe it to the young children because once upon a time, we were young and we were taught by our elders and our swamis. We owe it to the next generations to do the same. This is very important. What I learned today, as simple as coming here with my wife Gita, was Ritesh putting in an effort to bring us and show us the temple and actually be sitting with all of you. We are truly blessed. When we leave here, please remember, let's impact at least 30,000 lives in our entire lifetime. That is a minimum human goal each one of us has. Thank you very much. Jai Swaminarayan, and let us continue to be devotees. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harshvardhan Agadi, for those kind words and that generous, generous work that you're doing across the globe. It really means a lot. Continuing on with this program, we're also joined today with Representative Glenn Grothman, who proudly represents Wisconsin's 6th Congressional District. Serving his 5th term in Congress, Representative Grothman has been a dedicated advocate for a wide range of critical issues, including manufacturing and welfare reform. He has an extensive background in both state and federal government, and we're very excited to have him here today. Please come on up and share a few words with us.
Namaste. I'm honored today to be here at the largest mandir in North America. Other speakers have already addressed all the work that went into this wonderful project, but I'll tell you, I heard it was going to be great things being driven up here today. I never dreamed of what I would see. I will certainly never forget this building for the rest of my life. I have, of course, met many immigrants in this country who are affiliated with this mandir or other sites around the country. But the things that always impressed me about these people, and they impressed me of the guides here today, is their intelligence, their work ethic, and respect for the law. But more important than that, by a mile more important of that, is their dedication to values. Not the values that lead to shallow things like many material goods, though if you work hard, you get those material goods as well, but the values that lead to higher accomplishments. And for that, America is so grateful. The United States of America was, of course, founded by Christians who came here. Many of them came here to escape interference in their belief in God from other parts of Europe. We are governed by a constitution here in America, and John Adams, one of the great founders of our country, said that America's constitution, which is based on freedom, is made for a moral and religious nation and is completely unfit for any other kind. Christian presidents such as John Adams, Abraham Lincoln, William McKinley, and Ronald Reagan again and again asked for days of prayer and days of fasting so that America may appeal to God to protect us and keep America to be the type of country our forefathers envisioned. It therefore made me feel very good today to see such dedication to a moral and religious life, which America needs now more than ever. I'm glad to see so many Americans, particularly so many who are new to America, living those ideals more than many Americans who have been here for decades. I look forward to all of us today, when we leave here today, to dedicate ourselves to live our lives in the moral and religious fashion that our forefathers envisioned. If we ever lose that fashion, we will lose the attributes that make America the wonderful country that it is. I'd like to thank you again for allowing me to be here today and see this wonderful building, and thank you for allowing me to get to know so many more of the adherents of your faith. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Grothman. And I would like to request Puja Vivek Sagar Swami to felicitate Mr. Grothman for his participation and his attendance in this incredible event. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing those kind words with our assembly. Shri Swaminarayan Bhagwan Jai. Puja Vivek Sagar Swami is also offering a memento to mark this occasion, to help memorialize this moment. As we know, Mr. Glenn Grothman is serving his 5th term in Congress. And as we discovered, he's had an extensive career in the legal sector. He has a background in both state and federal government, and he's worked on a range of critical issues, including welfare reform. I'd also like to request Puja Vivek Sagar Swami to welcome Mr. Harshvardhan Agadi, who just spoke with us a few moments ago. Once again, Mr. Agadi is the Chief Executive Officer and the President of Crawford & Company, the world's largest independent claims management company. And more noticeably, as we heard, he sponsors the education of thousands of people across India, and we're grateful to have him join us today as well. Mr. Harshvardhan, thank you for joining us. I'd also like to recognize Mrs. Geeta Agadi, who's sitting with us as well, to be honored and recognized by one of our respected Mahila volunteers. Thank you for joining us. I'd now also like to request Vivek Sagar Swami to recognize Neeraj Antani. Senator Antani, as we learned, has made history as Ohio's first Indian American state senator. With his long history and deep roots in Hinduism, we are thankful to have him join us today. And we commit to the building of this Akshardham, which is in some ways the Sanjeevani for society. Thank you, Senator Antani, for joining us. We're also joined by Mr. Don Tracy, the chairman of the Illinois Republican Party. I'd like to request Puja Kothari Swami to welcome him with a garland of flowers and a memento. We will also appreciate his wife, Mrs. Wanda Tracy, joining him tonight, who will be welcomed by a respected Mahila volunteer. He's a businessman and a lawyer, and Mr. Tracy is known for his commitment to advancing the values of fiscal responsibility, lower taxes, and economic growth. He plays a prominent role in his family business, Dot Foods, the nation's largest redistributor of food and related products. Thank you for taking the time to join our festivities. As we heard from before, we're joined by Mr. Rob Woodall. And I'd like us to recognize him as well. I request Puja Kothari Swami to recognize him. And we're also joined by his mother, whom we heard about, who's turning 77 years old tomorrow. Mrs. Woodall, we'd like you to be welcomed by a respected Mahila volunteer today as well. Mr. Woodall is an accomplished attorney. He serves as a U.S. representative for Georgia's 7th Congressional District. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're also joined in this Festival of Inspirations. We're joined by so many incredible guests. And in that line, we're also joined by Dr. Ravi Kapoor, whom I'd like to request Puja Anand Swarup Swami to recognize at this moment. Dr. Ravi Kapoor is the co-founder and president of Benblo, a distinguished innovator in biotechnology and life sciences. He has co-founded and led multiple successful ventures at the intersection of microfluidics and clinical medicine, making significant contributions to the industry. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is our pleasure to host you this evening. Akshar Purushottam Maharajani Jai. Next, we're joined by Mr. Austin Rabin, who is the CEO of Rabin Group and the co-founder of Sight Technologies. I'd like to request Puja Anand Swarup Swami to honor him with a garland of flowers and a memento. Mr. Rabin is a visionary entrepreneur. Pramukh Swami Maharajani Jai. He's a visionary entrepreneur. He has revolutionized facility services using cutting-edge technology like drones, satellites, and 360-degree cameras. Thank you, Mr. Rabin, for attending our festivities. We're also joined today by Anu Mehta. Mr. Anu Mehta is a global solutions executive at Inside Technologies with over 20 years of experience in leadership and technology strategy. Mahan Swami Maharajani Jai. We're also delighted to have his wife, Mrs. Kalpana Mehta, here, who will be honored by a respected Mahila volunteer. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Mehta specializes in helping Fortune 1000 companies with technology transformations and has received prestigious awards for his leadership. Thank you for being here tonight, Mr. Mehta. We're also joined by Mr. Joe Johal, Chair of the Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs. I'd like to request Puja Anand Swarup Swami to welcome him with a garland of flowers and a memento. Akshardham Mahotsavni Jai. From his extensive tenure at HP to his current role as the CEO of Wendy's of the Pacific, Inc., Mr. Johal has demonstrated a commitment to excellence and community service. Thank you, Mr. Johal, for attending our festivities this evening.
A ceremonious ritual symbolizing the giving of light, prayer, and respect is the Arty Ritual. In the presence of His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj, let's all engage in this ritual together.
स्वामीनारायण भगवान की जय। अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम महाराज की जय। गुणातीतानंद स्वामी महाराज की जय। भगत जी महाराज की जय। शास्त्री जी महाराज की जय। योगी जी महाराज की जय। प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज की जय। महंत स्वामी महाराज की जय। अक्षरधाम महोत्सव की जय।
The story of Akshardham will be remembered for generations to come. Many will stare in awe at Akshardham and wonder how ordinary volunteers came together to build such a Mahamandir. You see, Indian culture is the culture of giving back. Indian culture is the culture of serving others. An important chapter in the chapter of Akshardham will be selfless service. Selfless service, which we call seva, is a value taught from a very young age in our community. From children sweeping the floors at mandir, to making masks for healthcare workers, to raising funds for walkathons and charity events, this quintessential value espoused by the Indian American community is one that we see on full display here at North America Akshardham, the ethos of giving back.
My name is Sia Patel. I'm from Edison, New Jersey, and I'm a student at Rutgers University.
My name is Dhruv. I'm from Philadelphia, and I used to work at Pfizer in the project management office.
My name is Krisha Amin. I'm from Orlando, and I'm a dentist.
My name is Jay Patel. I'm from New York. I'm an orthopedic surgeon.
My name is Harsh Patel. I'm from Parsippany, New Jersey. And in the U.S. Army, I'm in the U.S. Army Reserves as a human resources specialist.
And my name is Upasna Raj, and I'm from San Diego. I've been here for 3 months.
My name is Deep. I'm from San Jose, California, and I've been here for about 6 months.
My name is Neelam. I'm from Westboro, Massachusetts. I've been doing Seva for about 15 months.
My name is Manav Patel. I'm from Tampa, Florida, and I've been here for about 16 months now.
My name is Purvi. I'm from Chicago. I've been doing Seva for about 1.5 years.
My name is Tapas Yagnik. I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. I've been volunteering here for almost 2 years now.
I'm Babu, and I'm from Boston area, and I'm since 2009, about 13 years with this project.
Akshardham gives back without any prejudice, in the sense that it is open for all, and anyone who comes through the door will see the grandeur, the beauty, but along with that, they'll take away life lessons for generations to come.
I mean, there's a lot of stories with a lot of people here who have given up a lot of things to come, whether that's school, whether that's work, whether that's family, and somehow, somebody, they've made it work, and they've committed for so many months that takes a lot of dedication, that takes a lot of time, both mentally, physically, to do that. All these people, and there are hundreds, have been able to put in that kind of time and energy and focus into one thing consistently on a daily basis.
The value of selfless service has even been there for me in this Akshardham Seva. When I first came to do this Akshardham Seva, I was thinking that would I be able to manage? Would I be able to take a year off, a pause from my university? I mean, I had just gotten into Princeton University, and getting in was already hard enough. Now getting through would be even harder. But at the end of the day, when I looked at my Guru's lives, when I looked at the motto, the adage of Pramukh Swami Maharaj, which was, in the joy of others lies our own, and I looked at his life, the life of selfless service, I knew that I was born to do this Akshardham Seva.
I'm Staff Sergeant Angelina Mehta, and I also have been in the United States Marine Corps Reserve for going on 20 years. I've always loved serving. I think that part of that comes from the religious and faith background that I come from. I love to please my guru, and I've seen nothing but unconditional love, and I think the way that I've experienced that is through selflessness and service. The volunteering that I've done through BAPS, as well as the service that I've been able to serve my country through, it has a common denominator of really finding unity and harmony by making sure that we work together as a team. All types of history shows us where we came from and shows us also the potentials and possibilities of what the future can hold. And so having a structure that is timeless like this to inspire our younger generations again and again and remind them of what true faith, loyalty, courage, initiative actually can look like, and motivate them to achieve their best self and be really positive contributors to society really makes a big difference. And that's the essence of what I gather from Akshardham.
Pramukh Swami Maharaj often stated that a family that prays together, plays together, and eats together stays together. He encouraged family unity through dialogue and understanding, coining the term Ghar Sabha, where every member of the family meets regularly. Mahant Swami Maharaj, our spiritual guide, offers solace, inspiration, and guidance, urging families to strengthen their bonds and impart essential values to the forthcoming generations. Today, we also learned about the impact our culture has on our personal and communal success. We learned how service can unite and strengthen the very fabric of our community. In this way, Mahant Swami Maharaj makes consistent efforts to preserve our Indian culture across generations and emphasizes important aspects such as service, togetherness, and sacrifice, all values that he exemplifies in his own life. Let's now humbly request His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj to address the assembly today.
Sri Swaminarayan Bhagwan ne Jai, Akshar Purushottam Maharaj ne Jai, Gunatitan Swami Maharaj ne Jai, Bhagat Ji Maharaj ne Jai, Shastri Ji Maharaj ne Jai, Yogi Ji Maharaj ne Jai, Pramukh Swami Maharaj ni Jai, Pramukh Akshardham Hindu culture teaches us to live with values. એમને જીવન જીવવાનું નહીં, કંઈક જીવનમાં કંઈક હાથમાં આવે અને તમને સંતોષ થાય, જીવ્યાનું સંતોષ થાય, એ રીતે જીવવાનું. આપણી સંસ્કૃતિ આપણને ઘણા બધા મૂલ્યો શીખવે છે. Lot of things આપણે ઘણું બધું શીખી શકે છે. તો એમાં એકબીજાની સેવા કરવી, એકબીજાની સેવા કરી તો પ્રોબ્લેમ જ ન રહે. નો પ્રોબ્લેમ. Our culture teaches us to see God in all. આપણે શીખવે છે કે બધામાં ભગવાન જોવા. આપણી સંસ્કૃતિ આપણને દ્રઢ શ્રદ્ધા તથા ભક્તિ કરવા શીખવે છે. આપણી સંસ્કૃતિ દ્રઢ શ્રદ્ધા સાથે, ખાલી શ્રદ્ધા નહીં, દ્રઢ શ્રદ્ધા સાથે ભક્તિ કરવાનું શીખવે છે. બધાનું સારું થાય, આ તો આપણી ફરજ છે. હ્યુમન આપણે આપણી ફરજ બધાનું સારું થાય, બધાનું બધું થાય એવું કરવાનું અને વિચાર શીખવે છે. એવું કરવાનું અને વિચારવાનું શીખવે છે. બધાનું સારું થાય. બધા આપણે હૃદયમાં કોઈ એવી હોય જ નહીં. બધાનું બધું થાય, બધાનું સારું થાય, બધા આગળ ને આગળ વધ્યા જ કરે. બધા our culture inspires to maintain family values. They're very important. Family આગળ ડગર હોય તો પછી આગળ શું કરે? ફેમિલી વેલ્યુ આપણામાં રહેવું જોઈએ. એકબીજાને આદર આપવો જોઈએ ફેમિલીમાં. આગળ છે માતા પિતાની સેવા જીવન પર્યંત કરવી. અહીં તો બધું અઘરું છે, પણ થઈ શકે. પત્ર દ્વારા, ફોન દ્વારા આપણે ખબર અંતર રાખી શકીએ. ઘરમાં એકબીજાને આદર આપવો વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ. ઘરમાં એકબીજા તો પ્રોબ્લેમ જ ના રહે, કોઈ પ્રોબ્લેમ ના રહે. ઘરમાં પરિવારમાં સંપ રાખો. યુનિટી, યુનાઇટેડ યુનિટી ઘરમાં હોવી જોઈએ. ઘરમાં એકબીજાનો આદર, પરિવારમાં સંપ રાખવો. સાથે સાથે આ તો બધું ઠીક છે, પણ સાથે સાથે આપણા પર્સનલી આપણે સાથે નમ્રતા, સંવાદિતા, સુહૃદભાવ, પ્રમાણિકતા વગેરે અનેક મૂલ્યો આપણી ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિ આપણને શીખે છે. ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિને આપણે ફોલો કરીએ તો આ બધું આપણે શીખાય. આ બધા સાંસ્કૃતિક મૂલ્યોનું જતન થાય અને પ્રવર્તન થાય તે માટે પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજે અહીં નોર્થ અમેરિકામાં અક્ષરધામ હરિમંદિરનું નિર્માણ કર્યું છે. પ્રમુખ સ્વામી આ અક્ષરધામ અહીંયા આમ તો શો પીસ એવું નથી બધા, એમાંથી શીખવાનું અને આપણા પેઢીગત બધાને શીખવાડવાનું છે. આ બધા સાંસ્કૃતિક મૂલ્યોનું જતન કરે અને પ્રવર્તન થાય તે માટે પ્રમુખ સ્વામી મહારાજે અહીં નોર્થ અમેરિકામાં અક્ષરધામ મહામંદિર નિર્માણ કર્યું છે. આવા મંદિરો દ્વારા અનેકના જીવન પરિવર્તન. આવામાં બીજા મંદિર છે, બીજા આપણે એકલા નહીં, પણ બીજા મંદિરો પણ આવા મંદિરો દ્વારા અનેક જીવનના પરિવર્તન થશે, અનેકને પ્રેરણાઓ થશે અને અનેકના અંતરમાં શાંતિની અનુભૂતિ થશે. બધા ગુડ થિંગ્સ યુ વિલ ગેન. All religions teach us to have faith in God. all religions have teachers, all religions teach us to have faith in God. બધા ધર્મ આ શીખવે છે ભગવાનની શ્રદ્ધા રાખો. અંતે આપણે ભગવાનને ચરણોમાં પ્રાર્થના કરીએ કે આ બધા મૂલ્યો આપણા જીવનમાં દૃઢ થાય. પહેલાં આપણા જીવનમાં દૃઢ થાય અને આપણે સર્વ પ્રકારે સુખી થઈએ. પહેલાં આપણને બધું તમે માલદાર હો તો તમે બીજાને આપી શકો, પણ તમે કંકાલ હો તો બીજાને શું આપવાને. એટલે આપણે તમે બધાએ અંતે ભગવાન ચરણમાં પ્રાર્થના કરીએ કે આ બધા મૂલ્યો આપણા જીવનમાં દૃઢ થાય અને આપણે સર્વ પ્રકારે સુખી થઈએ. I express my heartfelt gratitude and convey my pranams to all respected guests for taking the time out to be here with us today.
Swaminarayan Aksharpit is pleased to announce the publication of 5 new English audiobooks. Presented by Pujya Mangalnidhi Swami, we have Impressions, Incidents from the Life of Bhagwan Swaminarayan, Parts 1, 2, and 3. Pure Devotion, Pramukh Swami Maharaj in Devotion. And 101 Tales of Wisdom, as told by Yogiji Maharaj. These and many other audiobooks are now available for free on the BAPS Akshar Amrutam app and at our website, baps.org/publications. We thank all of the Karyakars and Puja Swamis that have given their voice to record the audiobooks as well. As we talk about Indian culture today, we cannot forget children's and youth activities in BAPS mandirs across North America. Thousands of boys and girls engage in these activities and learn cultural values and life-changing lessons each week. Now comes an exciting new mobile application that allows all of those young people to engage in those activities with more ease. Presenting the BAPS BKMS app. Pujya Aksharmurti Swami and Pujya Gnanmanand Swami are presenting the application to Param Pujya Mahant Swami Maharaj today for its launch. This app will help volunteers engage in Bal Balika and Kishor Kishori activities more efficiently while allowing parents and children to remain more connected. Swamishi is now blessing the volunteers who helped to create the app, along with the volunteers who helped administer the youth activities and IT services. This app will assist in event registration and allow users to stay connected to news and information about events. This application will be rolled out to volunteers over the next few weeks and will then be available to all Balikas, Kishors, and Kishoris, along with their parents in early 2024. ભારતીય સંસ્કૃતિના આધાર સ્તંભ સમા મંદિરો એટલે ભક્તોની ભક્તિ તથા સમર્પણનું મૂર્તિમાન સ્વરૂપ. ભક્તોના દાન કહેતા કે સમર્પણથી મંદિરોમાં નિર્માણ તથા વિવિધ ધાર્મિક તથા જનકલ્યાણની પ્રવૃત્તિઓ શક્ય બને છે. મંદિરમાં આવનારા ભક્તો ખૂબ જ સરળતાથી દાન કરી શકે તે માટે એકાઉન્ટિંગ તથા આઈટી વિભાગ દ્વારા ડિજિટલ ડોનેશન કિયોસ્ક તૈયાર કરવામાં આવેલ છે. આ ડોનેશન કિયોસ્ક દ્વારા ક્રેડિટ કાર્ડ, એપલ પે અથવા ગૂગલ પે દ્વારા ભક્તો દાન કરી શકશે. તેનું ઉદ્ઘાટન પૂજ્ય ગુરુવંદન સ્વામી તથા પૂજ્ય ધર્મકેતુ સ્વામી પરમ પૂજ્ય મહંત સ્વામી મહારાજ પાસે કરાવી રહ્યા છે. As pillars of Indian culture, mandirs personify the unwavering bhakti, dedication, and commitment of Hari Bhakto. The development, construction, and ongoing religious and humanitarian activities within the mandirs are made possible through the benevolent contributions and dedication of the volunteers. We are privileged to be able to devote virtually through the digital donation kiosk. I would now like to conclude today's assembly by first thanking Bhagwan Swaminarayan, His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj for granting us this divine opportunity to celebrate our rich Indian culture, our Sanskruti. A heartfelt thanks to all of our esteemed guests and attendees for making this event ever more special. હવે આપણે સ્વામીશ્રીને વિનંતી કરીએ કે પોતાના નિવાસ સ્થાને વધારે. જય સ્વામિનારાયણ.
Thank you.